So, okay, so tonight is our first call of our, goal for being debt free. We're kind of following along the Dave Ramsey plan. If Financial Peace University is, kind of the big thing that he does. But the book that we're going to be reading along is Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. So we've got some awesome people that are really good at paying off debt. And you guys can just talk a little bit about yourself, about things that you're proud of so far, that you've been able to do. So, other people can also see like this stuff really works. And then give us some of your tips, best practices, and one of the call to action for us. So first up is Melissa Ludwig. And she's going to tell you a little bit how she paid off a buttload of loans on one income and give you some tips.
Hey guys, you can hear me? Okay. So in the last, 3 or 4 years, back up. 6 years after I graduated college, I looked at my student loans and I was finally starting to get my life in order after like waitressing and, being a hot mess. And I owed more money after paying for 6 years than I did when I graduated. And a light bulb went off. I was like, what the is like, are you kidding me? I've been paying, and I was paying $500 a month for 6 years. And I owed $2,000 more than what I borrowed. So I got angry. And then I was like, all right, well, taking care of this. So in the last couple years, I've taken my student loans from $52,000 to $20,000. We paid for a wedding, a honeymoon. Mark was going through law school and we were living on my income. And then I quit. We actually had no income for 8 or 9 months. My maternity leave was all unpaid. And I had to pay $6,000 to have Elsie for my medical bills. And I was able to get LASIK this year. It's already paid off. Our car was paid off and then totaled 5 months later. And we ended up with a minivan, but I was able to, I love taking a look at things and figuring out things. And I told Mark, I said, we have to replace a bill. So we paid off LASIK and we were able to get our van payment $5 less than what the LASIK payment was monthly. So these are just a few of my financial highlight reels that I'm super excited about. So a few things that I just wanted to touch on today are, first of all, you need to have a list of all your monthly bills that are not flexible. Okay? And what I mean is mortgage, car payment, things that you can't save money, like you can't really adjust. So you want to list all those goals. All those bills. Then you want to list utilities that could go down. So like your trash, sewage, that kind of stuff, those are in non-flexible. You don't have anything to do with those. Gas, electric, groceries, gas for the car, all that stuff. Actually, I don't even count gas in my budget because Mark, we have one car. I know that's so crazy. People are like, what? We have one car and Mark buses to work. So I work from home. So if we're driving somewhere, we need to go somewhere. So I personally do not budget gas. But I have all my bills wrote down for the month. I add them all up. I usually don't add in first like groceries and spending money and things like that. I add in my staples. So like my Shakeology, all of our utilities, our car payments, if LASIK, debt, everything. And then I take our income and I see what's left. Okay, so let's say that we're not counting groceries, we're not counting gas, we're not counting spending money, we're not counting any of those things that you can be a little flexible on, and you have an extra $500 to $1,000. Elsie, stop. Here, go. Sorry. You have an extra $500 to $1,000. Now, that needs to go into, all right, well, how much can we spend a month on groceries? Danny Johnson says you can feed each person in your house for $20 a week. If you're not shopping at Aldi's, start shopping at Aldi's right now. It will cut your grocery bill in half. So whatever I have left over, half goes into savings, half goes paying off debt. Whatever that amount is for my savings, I make sure that it's safe. So for Mark and I, for most of it, it's an extra $1,000 a month. And 500 of that is an automatic transfer every month into our savings. So you can do it $250 a paycheck or whatever. You can schedule it in your bank that it goes with your paychecks, with your husband's paychecks, whatever. But it transfers every 2 weeks or once a month. Having that, okay, I'll get to the chat questions after. So I have that set up, and then if something comes up and I need to alter it or I need to fix it, I do, but I make sure it's a last resort so that I know $500 a month is going into savings. That other $500 a month, well, now I have it to pay off debt. Forget interest rates. Forget everything that you think makes sense. Start with your smallest amount of debt. Attack that first. Then, so let's say your smallest, I know Jess is going to touch on this, so I don't want to go too much into it, but you're going to list all your debt from biggest to smallest. And you're going to start with the smallest. And you write down your monthly payments for each. So your smallest bill, let's say it's a $1,000 credit card, and your monthly payment is like $46. All right, well, you have that extra $500. Now you make a payment of $546. Let's say you don't have that extra $500. Let's say you have an extra $100. Let's show this from just starting, like maybe you don't have as much wiggle room. So that $46 plus that $100. So every month I'm paying $146 on my credit card. After that credit card is paid off, that $146 adds to my next amount of debt. So let's say the next bill in line was a car, and that's $4,000, and your payment on that is $175. Okay, so gosh, I should have picked easier numbers for these. I'm not in math in my head person. All right, so we have 145 plus 175 equals whatever that is. So that is what I pay every month.
I was like, why did she make $46?
I don't know, because I'm an idiot.
What do you mean?
But you don't have to be a math wizard to pay off debt. So then I'm paying what, $315? We'll just say $350.
Whatever.
Let's make it easy. So now I'm paying $350 a month on that car payment until that car is paid off. Then that $350 plus the next bill. So if that's student loans and your payment is $250, I even lost count after this already now. So that whole like $600, $700 goes to your student loan payments until they're paid off. Do you see the snowball? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's what Dave Ramsey refers to as the debt snowball.
Okay. So that is huge when you want to pay off debt.
Okay, but time out, because I pay on my credit card right now, I pay $115 a month in interest. And so for me, it's a little different because we've been living on one income, and Matt's income is just kind of like supplemental. Is it okay if I'm like, I'm just going to knock this big thing out and then go back to the little, because the $115 a month, like I can't. Is that terrible?
No, I mean, I attacked
what Dave Ramsey says to do, but
right. But you're still, I mean, if that's the chunk, like I tackled my student loans before smaller debt.
Yeah.
Because the interest rate was killing me.
Yeah.
It was 7.5%. And I was like, I have to knock this out. I was paying $500 a month in student loans.
Oh my God, my credit card's like 22% or something retarded.
So yeah, if it's that, and if you have a large sum, then knock that out, but make sure you're using that extra, like just snowball from what that was onto
that's my
something
plan.
else.
And then I'm going to go start back to the smaller bills, but I'm just like, I need to get this rid
If
of.
there's something that's crippling you and taking, if it's like how my student loans were, where if they were like going, down, but only focus on paying off one debt at a time. That's really important. Some people are like, all right, I have an extra $150 or an extra $500, and then they pay off like $100 extra on each account. Like, you're kind of just spinning your wheels.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure you focus on one at a time.
Yeah. If I didn't have a big, when I get a big chunk of money, and I mean, maybe it's like $1,000 or $1,500 or something. It's easier for me to put it on the credit card. I have to look into it, but honestly, it's like a process to just pay on one loan when I go and log in. I don't know if anybody else has this issue with their student loans. I have multiple individual loans, and it's really hard.
Navient is better with that. Sally Mae wouldn't let me do it at all. Navient will let me pay off one loan at a time, and I have 2 loans that are under $5,000.
Yeah,
and I've been tempted to pay them off.
To be able to do it.
But the amount that I save a month, it doesn't take my payment down that much. So I'm like, fuck it. That's still I still look at that as $20,000. So I'm starting with our credit. Now that LASIK is paid off, it's our credit card. Then I will toss up between the student loans and the van, just because the van is valuable to me. And if I got my payment so low, I could even double, whatever. But okay, I am going to move on to my next thing, which is somebody not muted there? Okay, help a sister out in the wind. Okay, so as a stay-at-home mom, I always told Mark this, well, when I become a stay-at-home mom, I'm going to stay like 70s wives, and I'm going to save all kinds of money being home. And he was like, yeah, okay. Well, then Mark got a little sad because I took away all paper products except for toilet paper. So, no Kleenexes, no paper towels. We don't buy paper products except for toilet paper. And my toilet paper, I buy every 9 months. Sam's Club, borrow somebody's membership card, get Scott, buy the big, huge bag. That stuff lasts forever. It's like $20, and it lasts me for 9 months. Yes! It lasts forever. And listen, guys. This is
selling paper.
I used to be like, oh, but it's not double ply, 3-ply. It's your butt. Come on. Whatever. Right? So, Scott toilet paper from Sam's Club every 9 months. Seriously, beeps. These are my Kleenexes. I have awful allergies, and I go through Kleenexes like crazy. And they are so expensive. So I was a Girl Scout, always be prepared. I have a million bandanas, and they are my Kleenexes. They are Elsie's Kleenexes. They are Mark's Kleenexes. I do laundry a lot, but do you know how much money this has saved me? Hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. I haven't showered today. Sorry, I'm kind of gross. Next one, I can't even lift this broken neck, is this guy. This basket, I'm on the couch. This basket sits in my kitchen on my counter, and in it are all kinds of just washcloths. These are our napkins. I'm not even kidding. I have dish towels, a little heavier duty, and then
Okay, Melissa, wrap it up.
Okay, sorry. Then my unpaper towels, guys. These are awesome. Fabric, washcloth. So I wash and reuse all my stuff. And you can even make your own laundry detergent. So my call to action is for you guys. I want you to list out your monthly bills. I want you to find what you have left over. I want you to figure out how much you're going to put towards debt, towards savings, and I want you to set up that automatic transfer every month, even if it's $50, guys. Just do it. If you have extra, you can always transfer extra. Okay, so we're setting up automatic transfer, and you are looking around your house and trying to find 3 areas in your house that you can save money on, whether it's making your own medicine, cleaning products, laundry detergent, like getting rid of some paper products, freezing spinach and bananas to use for shakes and things like that instead of throwing away food. 3 things around your house that you can save money on. All right, thanks, guys.
Okay, ask Mom if she can make me on paper towels. You're still muted. You just muted yourself.
I did. Grandma Shear made mine.
Okay.
I went over and we made them in like an evening.
All right,
the whole thing cost me like $10, $13. I've been using them for 2 years now, year and a half maybe.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna see if anybody else covers this. But Jessie, so she touched on this, and you probably are gonna cover this. I was just a little confused, and Alicia asked too. So Melissa said you take your income minus your bills, and what you have left, half goes to savings, half goes to debt. But then I was confused because she said don't include groceries. So that part I'm just not totally sure about. So I don't know if you're going to talk on that too.
I do things a little bit different than Melissa. We have a set income, Heath's salary, so he gets paid every Friday, and I know exactly how much that paycheck's going to be. So I actually budget off of that. I take $250 a month out of his paycheck every Friday. That goes to dry cleaning, that goes to groceries, that goes to what am I forgetting? Gas for my car. And then whatever is left over, I tuck away here at home.
Jessie, you said $250 a month and then a week. Which one do you mean? A week or a month?
A week, sorry.
Okay.
And then after that, everything else is budgeted out. So I do the same thing that Melissa did, and I took all of my debt and listed it from highest to lowest. When we started this year, I had $91,000 in debt. Like, it was stupid. And a lot of it has to do with my car, because that was just a stupid thing to get in the first place. But then I listed it. So, I mean, I had a Victoria's Secret credit card with a $16 balance on it. And I was like, why does this thing even have a balance on it right now? But at the same time, all of last year, because we rent our house, so all last year, I was tucking money away, and I do hair on the side. So I was doing hair and my beach body, tucking all that money in the savings, and then using his money his paychecks to pay the bills. And then I read that Dave Ramsey book. I got it actually from my mother-in-law for Christmas. And I was like, you know what? This makes so much more sense. You tuck $1,000 into the savings account, and then you get rid of this debt. Otherwise, you're just going to keep paying on it, and you're going to keep paying on the interest of it. And it's just insane. Heath had a credit card with a 27% interest rate. It was my fault. I screwed up a payment 2 months in a row because my bank didn't have the account number lined up. So it jumped up. But, just in that amount, and that was like his emergency card, was his American Express. And I just made him shut it down this past weekend, and the lady asked why. He said, I use it too much. So, yeah, I do. But so basically what I did is I took all that, back up. So we have a baby due in April. So instead of $1,000, I have $2,000 in savings, just because I'm not sure. I just like to have an extra little backup plan in case something goes wrong, or if like her medical bills are a little insane. And then the $1,000 is the emergency fund. I took all that other money that I had been tucking in the savings and tucking away into a safe at our house, and I paid off so far this year $13,000 in debt.
This year?
This year.
Oh my God, girl, that's awesome.
Well, that's including our refund check, because we did get that back already. But
that's so cool, Jessie.
But I just, I had that sitting in savings, and I had it adding up. And I want to buy a house, but one of the things that Dave says in that book is, why would you go and have all that debt and then buy a house and put yourself in over $100,000 more debt? It's stupid. Get rid of some of this debt and then move on, and then start saving up for a house. So our rent is, it's a 5 bedrooms. So we have the room here for the kid. We have the room here for when my in-laws come up from Texas and stay with us for a month. So we just decided, I said, you have to have your significant other on board with you also, because if they're not, it is way too hard. Luckily, Heath is just like, do it. Like, I don't care what you do. So, but I always keep him like up to date on what we're doing. So he knows the status of us, of our financials, you know. So, sorry, I'm out of breath because I have a child on my lungs. So, so every Friday I go and I budget. So I have an actual calendar that I keep that is strictly just for bills. So like Melissa, you know, you have like your certain bills that are a set payment, like your car payment, your insurance, if you have any loans, rent or your mortgage, whatever. And I have that stuff all on this calendar. And then I also have all of my credit cards. So, and I just have their minimum payments. So let's say, you know, my lowest one right now is our Lowe's credit card, because we only have 2 credit cards left out of the 9 we started with at the beginning of this year. So Lowe's is $142 minimum payment, which is stupid. But so basically I start working on that one, and then I pay the minimum payment on the rest of our bills, the loans, the credit cards, if you have medical bills, whatever, and you just work your way up. So with Lowe's being the lowest, I make the biggest chunk payment on that one first. And that is with whatever extra money I have left over after you figure out what all you're paying that is a fixed amount, I guess. I don't know when you say flexible and all that. I don't know those words. But I also have all of my bills set to be paid on Friday. So when he gets paid on Friday, then all my bills come out on Friday. So by Monday, I know how much money we have left over to play with, whether it's gas, whether we want to go out to eat, whether he needs to go get something or whatever at the store, like whatever money. He gets an allowance because he has a really bad Chick-fil-A problem. So I give him money every Friday, and he can get his breakfast sandwiches. He can get his Crown Royal, whatever he wants to get, but he gets his allowance every Friday, and if he runs out of money, it's not my problem. So he has ones in his glove box. He has learned. He stacks away his savings. But as far as, I guess, everything else, I track everything on an Excel spreadsheet, because I'm an Excel freak and I have to have a visual. So I have my calendar with all of my bills that come out and on what day. I have my Excel sheet with all of my debt listed highest to lowest, and then I have my Excel sheet. And we save all of our receipts. He gives me all of his receipts. I keep an eye on the bank account like every other day, and we track everywhere we spend our money, whether it's going out to eat, whether it's the liquor store, whether it's, you know, I went to Michael's and got a little happy with some holiday decorations. I have a problem with that. And then at the end of, like, I track all of those expenses, and that way I know where we spent too much money and where we need to like work on it. So last year we used to go out to eat. It was stupid. We would spend like $900 going out to eat, and then another $400 on groceries. Like, are you kidding me? No, absolutely not. So we go out to eat maybe once a week. So if he wants to get a Cracker Barrel after church on Sunday, then no, we're not going out to eat on Saturday night. So that's kind of just how I do things. And that was kind of what my homework for you guys was, starting on March 1st. Save all your receipts and start tracking where you're spending your money. So,
would you mind uploading your Excel that we can use as a guide?
Yeah.
And then
I was actually going to ask if you wanted, because I made like an example sheet to show you.
Yeah, that'd be perfect if you can upload it. So that would be a lot less stressful to start doing that.
Mm-hmm. So then the purchases are all broken down by house expenses, utility expenses, auto, food, medical, personal, loans, and credit cards, which you'll see that when I upload it. That's why I read it that fast. And then you can kind of see how much you're bringing in versus how much you're throwing out.
Does anybody have like Quicken or QuickBooks? Because I have Quicken, and I feel like I could just use that because it tracks everything you spend, and I can just assign it to categories.
Yeah, I've seen somebody else, I can't remember who, somebody was using that too, but I don't have it.
Okay.
When you were speaking about going out to dinner, I have a great date night tip every month. So, like, if you have any grocery stores that do fuel perks with their gift cards, like, every month you take $100 and you go and you buy two $50 gift cards. And those are your 2 date nights every month. You're getting fuel perks. You're keeping it to a $50 limit, and you can get variety.
That's actually the next thing I was going to cover. Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to cover is Amazon has a thing called subscribe and save. So I canceled my Sam's Club because I never go, and I'm not spending $45 for a yearly membership when I can order all that same stuff on Amazon. So every Friday I get an Amazon gift card and I apply it to my account, and then the subscribe and save. If you're an Amazon Prime member, though, I don't know if you can do subscribe and save if you're not a Prime member. No? Okay. So all my paper towels, my toilet paper, tissues, diapers, wipes, all of that, it gets shipped to the house. And then it's literally set on a subscribe and save. And the more I think it's like if you have 5 items, you save 15% off your order for that month. So obviously I'm stocking up on diapers as soon as I found out I was pregnant 8 months ago. So I have a pretty good stash started. And all of my Amazon gift cards that I apply to my account, I get fuel perks off of. So 2 Fridays ago, I filled up my Suburban from empty for $10, thanks to all my Amazon gift cards.
So you buy them, so like say like Giant Eagle or something near you, you buy Amazon from there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find one that has fuel perks around.
Anytime I know I'm going to be buying some, like if I know I'm going to Bed Bath & Beyond, man, pop in Giant Eagle and grab a gift card. Like we would get cash back on our credit card. We were using our credit card to buy the Home Depot gift cards to do stuff on the house and then pay it off. But that just got a little crazy. But we got like the cash back and then the fuel perks. And that, if you're not like, you can see all the debt, you can't do that because it's a downward spiral. Also, moms, get Target Red Cards because you get free shipping online and you will save bukus of money if you're not walking through Target.
Yeah.
And like how you say you shop online, yeah, you'll spend a lot less money that way.
Yeah. You said something and it came and went. I don't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, so basically I make my grocery list. I plan out my meals for the next week. I try to figure it out. I don't spend more than, I used to spend like $200 every Friday on groceries. Like it was dumb. So now like I meal plan for it and I'm ready for it. And then I spend about $100 every Friday on groceries. And then we go out to eat once a week. And that's it. Like I draw a line. And then creditkarma.com, you can get your credit report and your credit score for free. And it also shows you how you can see your score, how it works, the utilization of your cards, the balances, all of that. So as I pay off these credit cards, even though we're planning on trying to get approved for mortgage starting next year now instead of this year, I'm watching our credit score. As soon as I get a card paid off, I'm shutting it down because it's only going to affect your credit score for temporarily, supposedly, is what my research has shown. So all these cards we're shutting down now, it's not, I mean, it's going to show up as a closed account and as a remark, but your credit card utilization versus your open accounts affect your score. And you'll understand that more when you look on your Credit Karma account.
So do you guys suggest, like, I rarely ever shop at Kohl's ever anymore. And then I have like Express and I haven't shopped there in 2 years. It's a $0 balance, but should I just cancel those or what do you guys think?
I would. I actually kept my Kohl's open, but
I think Kohl's does a lot with their card. I don't know about Express. Like if you like, we have a Macy's card because they do 20% off a lot on the card.
That's true. And you have
and then we just pay it off right away. Just make sure that it doesn't get, those are like no interest. You just pay them off. But if the card doesn't have any benefit, like if Express doesn't offer special benefits and you never shop there, yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah, and Victoria's Secret, I don't want to get to the point where I'm relying on a credit card for things like Victoria's Secret. That's not a necessity. If I want a bra, I can save up for it and buy it at the end of the month, you know.
Well, there's no benefits with that one either.
Oh, there's not. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel Express and Victoria's Secret.
Because I just shut down my Victoria's Secret too, but I kept my Kohl's open because it's 15% off.
That's true. I do really, and they have Kohl's cash back. Alicia says she got half her Christmas gifts on Black Friday. Yeah, they have really good Black Friday deals, and you can even do Black Friday shopping online at Kohl's too, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. You can also do Ebates too. You get cash back through Ebates.
I have been meaning to do that forever. I wish Ebates did it with Amazon because that's what
they do.
They do?
Yeah. You get like, I'll look and I'll post it. But
I thought I looked and maybe I was not knowing what I was looking for because that's where I spend most.
I think it depends. Like it changes, like what they offer it on.
Okay.
At least every time I check it, it's like it's never what I'm buying from Amazon.
Oh, it's like certain things. I think that's what it was. I was looking it up one time.
Yeah.
Certain things on Amazon because you can have. There's so many different sellers too. You never know. Like.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Ebates. Yeah, I got to look into that because I have so many people that they say get checks all the time from Ebates. So.
Well, I have like Google Chrome, so it's actually on my Google Chrome bar. So it actually pops up when there's like special offers available through Ebates, and you just hit activate it. It like pops up, activate now. And then if you do make purchases on that website, it'll automatically cash back to you. Mm-hmm. Which is nice.
I know there's also a app if you guys say you're in Target and you're like, oh, I really want this. You can download, what's that app that you can scan the
Cartwheel. Cartwheel. You know what? Our next call should just be on that, apps.
I've never used it. Okay, but.
Well, yeah, like Cartwheel and like.
I love that.
Yeah, on like.
You guys
or like.
That's good too.
But that should be our next, if anybody's good at like money saving apps like Cartwheel and getting the red card and like
good idea,
that kind of stuff,
and then we can just kind of check in with what we've done from the last call and stuff like that too. And Tanner has some really good tips too, so hopefully we can do a different time or something for her to get on. Okay, cool. Anything else, Jessie?
No, I was just gonna say, so every Friday I have it set up. I use little Post-its and I just write like the amount of income and then what bills are going to be paid on that Friday, and I schedule them to be pulled out of my bank account on that Friday, and that way you know what bills are being paid, if they're going to be on time, and then how much money you're going to have left over after those bills are paid. I have a lot of people do like the auto enroll. I don't do that except for our power bill, and that's only because West Penn Power is a pain in my butt. But anybody else, I schedule my bills to be paid.
So like you do the online banking and you schedule it to be paid?
Yes.
Okay. That day that you do it every Friday.
And then normally by Monday, everything is withdrawn out, and then I know how much money we're going to have for the rest of the week. But I always tell my husband that there's no money in the checking, and if he swipes the card, we're gonna have an overdraft fee. It's the only way to control your husbands, I swear. So he thinks we're like broke all the time. I'm like, we're not. Just give him an allowance.
Okay, so your call to action was save all your receipts. What else did you say? Save all your receipts and enter it into an Excel?
Even if you want to do that, or if you just want to like have a notebook, some people are more like not computer like Melissa and would rather not do Excel. But then there's some people like me who I have to have it on an Excel sheet with formulas, and it adds it all up for me. But that way, and then at the end of the month, I go and I compare and I see, we spent too much going out to eat this week or this month, or last month, we did this, but this month we have this much. It's a lot easier, I think.
Okay.
But I was also going to say what Melissa said also with listing all your debt from highest to lowest.
Yeah.
And then start with your lowest and make the biggest chunk payment that you can on that. And then just make the minimum payment on everything else. And then just work your way up. Otherwise, like she said, it's an endless cycle. And you just pay on interest over and over and over again.
Okay. One other thing, and I'm actually going to do that this week, is if you've been paying like stuff regularly, you can even call your credit card and see if they'll reduce your interest rate. It doesn't hurt to call, and a lot of times they will.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're being like regular on your cards and stuff, my grandma always tells me this, that like, just call them. All you can do is call them and ask them to reduce her interest rate. She says she's done that before, and they're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not always. Worth a shot.
I actually have never had a credit card go into the interest rate. We just started using them a couple years ago, and we use them for the interest free to get the perks, and then we pay them off by the time the interest starts, and then we get rid of them.
Good for you.
So, I mean, well, credit card, but it's a slippery slope. Like, we started doing it with the gift cards for the house, and then it was like over 8,000, and I was like, oh, damn. So,
yeah.
Now I'm paying it off. But
okay, cool. Awesome. I love it so far. Thanks, Jessie. Okay, so Mindy, go ahead and give us your tips, and some of them may have been somewhat touched over, so feel free to just talk about what you do and any successes you have that you want to talk about.
So I apologize. I sound like a horse, and if I start coughing, I do apologize. So the Dave Ramsey, some of the stuff is a lot different than what the girls said, which there's nothing wrong with it. His is like, he's very strict about, you pay your smallest debt and then you work your way up, and then you always have a budget no matter what. You always have a zero-based budget every month, and every month you should do a new budget because no month is exactly the same. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to show like a quick budget of what I do because it changes every month. Let's see. Oh. So, and I can upload these. This is just
they're
like
so
an
cute.
example. I'm very like, kind of like what Jessie was saying. I have to have things a certain way, and if I'm going to use it, it has to be cute and functional. So, what I did is, this is our bills/expenses. This right here is where I mark whenever I pay it off, or not pay it off, but just that it's
just like
for
put
the
it
month. And then the yellow is stuff that comes out automatically of our account. So I know like, hey, heads up, this is coming out. Don't forget this paycheck that this is coming out. And then I also have a calendar like she has. And then so it has the amount and it totals it down here. And then I mark how much I pay. So like on some of the credit cards or like my student loan, you know, I might pay extra. So I just put how much I paid there. And then in case there's like a note on here, like say like my Verizon, you know, if I accidentally forget to pay it, because not that that's ever happened, not since I've had this, but just in case, you know, if it's like a little bit more, I can mark a note here like why it's different. Because I know what every bill is every month, but I just like to be able to see it. And then these things down here are like some medical bills that I have, and you guys are like seeing all my business here. And then if any of that changes, like whole family healthcare, like that's my doctor. So I know I'm not going to have that every month because I don't go to the doctor every month, but it's just down here so I can adjust it. And then my husband, he has a pretty set salary, but he does work overtime sometimes. So I guess it's hourly, not salary technically. So if he gets a different paycheck, you know, like more, then I like to put that right here. And I like to just keep track because my job that I have, I don't have any time off. So if I take any time off, my income is going to change. And I just like to see what my income is and the date that I got it. Part of Dave Ramsey's is give, save, and then pay off debt. And so that is part of where we do tithe at our local church. And so that's the amount that I put there. Any kind of savings. So if my husband works overtime, the extra amount that he has automatically goes right here. So I can keep track of that. And then down here is just a summary. So there's our income. Just I put in the totals right there. I don't know if you can see that.
Do you have this that it's like has formulas so it adds everything up to?
It does.
Nice.
I haven't spent the time to where these all are connected.
Yeah.
But I'll upload the Excel spreadsheet. So if you are quick and savvy with it, then you can definitely put those formulas in yourself. And you can obviously edit and add boxes as you want to or whatever.
I love this. I feel like of everything, this is something that I would definitely use because it's all in one spot.
That's what I love about it too. It took me a few months to really just figure out what worked for me, because really that's all any of this boils down to. You know, if not using paper products works for you, then that is awesome. But if it's not going to work for everybody, just like Excel spreadsheets don't work for everybody. So this is what works for me because it's so simple and I like how it looks.
Okay, so yellow is meaning that it comes out automatically. And
correct.
Then is everything, do you normally write out everything though? Like, you know, you have
I will actually print this off and then just write it in. Okay. Or, you know, and then like this right here, I just mark it that it has been paid. Because sometimes I forget to pay something. I think I've already paid it and, oh, I didn't. And then, you know, you get a big bill and you're like, oh, crap.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, all the stuff in yellow comes out automatically, like, because we get a huge discount on our insurance, on our electric, things like that for having it come out automatically. I'm not a fan of it, but if it saves me money, I just have to figure out how to work it into my budget, and that's how I do it.
Okay.
And also, if you'll notice, these are put into the order of the date they're due. So that brings me to the next thing, which is the envelopes. I get paid every week, and my husband gets paid bi-weekly. So this is kind of how I have it set up, because sometimes I can overcomplicate things, and it was just kind of driving me crazy how to take, okay, well, he gets $80 of blow money, and I get $80 of blow money. And that covers if we want to buy clothes or shoes or just go shopping, if I want like new office supplies or just anything. That is to each our own. My husband likes to go to 7-Eleven a lot. And
so that's included in that, not in food?
No, that is his money to spend. Okay. That is whatever he wants to do with it. And so if he chooses to spend it at 7-Eleven and I choose it to spend at Kohl's getting new workout pants, then that's our business.
Okay.
Why it's our money. And that has really helped, because not only does that take the pressure off of like, oh, honey, I spent like this money, I'm sorry. Or I feel guilty about it, or getting mad about it, you know, with your spouse. That's completely taken it away. Excuse me. So then we do food and gas and date night and savings, and like my husband's birthday is this month, so this is in there. So I worked it into the budget. I don't always save money for gifts or birthdays, or, you know, that's the thing about Dave Ramsey. If you take his Financial Peace University, he has literally like 3 or 4 pages of a cash spending plan. And it literally breaks down your utilities, your food, your gas, it is like detail to the detail. And it's too much for me to like really be able to sit down and do it right. So that's why I created this, and I just have basic envelopes.
What's your miscellaneous?
It is right down here. And miscellaneous for me is like, you know, like paper products, laundry detergent, things like that. I used to do a lot of the things that Melissa talked about, like making your own homemade laundry detergent and stuff like that. But it got to the point where I was allergic to some of the stuff that even making it homemade, I was just reacting to it. So I had to find something else. So $50 a month for like dishwasher tabs, laundry detergent, paper towels, toilet paper, things like that. Because I have actually found really good, better deals being able to use coupons and going to Target or going to like the grocery store, things like that. So that's what the miscellaneous comes out of. And then our savings is more than our debt snowball this year, because this year we are planning on trying to start a family. And in order to do that, there's some medical procedures that have to be done. So that's what that money is for. So we are trying to save and pay off debt at the same time. And, you know, like next month, you know, we won't have that $50 for birthday, so it will go to the debt snowball. Dave Ramsey really pushes that you are to live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. And I believe that to an extent, but I'm also kind of a realist and live in the moment. And I've lost family over the years suddenly, and I try and find the balance between like enjoying my life and still having a goal and still reaching that goal. So I still want to celebrate my husband's birthday. I still want to take him to a nice dinner. Doesn't mean we have to go all out, but you know, so that's kind of why, like, our debt snowball could be bigger. I'm sure some people will look at this and say there's a lot of things that I would do differently, but this is what works for us. And our dog food is included in the food, and if I need to take it out of like miscellaneous, then I will. But you can always create your own, you know, because I'm buying the dog food when I'm buying groceries, so you know.
So food is just groceries, and then sometimes dog food.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, which when, as you know, April, when you have two big dogs like a German Shepherd, they eat a lot of food, and their food is expensive.
Yeah, max is like $50 for a big bag.
Yeah, that's what ours is too. And we have two dogs, so like one week I will get one dog, it's a big bag of dog food, and then the next week I'll get the other dog, or 2 weeks later I'll get the other dogs.
Yeah, I have to check and see. I think it's like every 3 weeks. I have to check and see. I have no idea how often I buy dog food. I don't pay attention to it.
That's another thing. Start paying attention to how long those things last.
Yeah.
Like for you and things like that. Like, are you going through it too fast? Like laundry detergent, big container versus the, you know, the pods, like which, you know, I don't personally make my own laundry detergent. But I do have an envelope for kids, and it's Elsie and kitties, which the kitties require more money than Elsie. But
so like well, and that's where like I am just really allergic to a lot of stuff. So like I have to buy certain kind of laundry detergent and certain kind of, you know, like I feel like ours is a little bit more expensive because, you know, we use like the Honest Company and 7th generation, all organic, and I mean, it is more expensive, but, you know, like my deodorant is like $4 or $5 instead of like $2. But
my deodorant is like $7. I have to get like clinical strength. It's awful.
So, I mean, it's just to each their own. And I just, you know, I don't really care what anybody thinks about it. That's just what I do, and that's what works for us. So, so back to the envelopes. What I do personally that I carry with me, because I like everything cute, is I made my own envelopes. So like this one is for gas, like beauty, which I don't have anything in that right now because I'm just trying to save all that I can, and that will come out of my miscellaneous. So then there's date night, miscellaneous, and then like food. Because I was kind of embarrassed like going to the store using like ratted up old like plain old white office envelopes at the checkout line. And then I try not to spend the total amount that's in the envelope. I always try and save extra for like special occasions, like if you want to have like a big family dinner or like Thanksgiving, or just, you know, you want to have like steak for dinner one night or something. So I have this, and this actually has, I made this, and it has, which there's nothing in there for now, but so like the gas, you can actually open these up and put money in them so that you're not carrying all that cash around. And
So that's like for at home.
Yeah, I leave this at home, And anything that I have left over after the week, and I go to refill the envelope, I take that money and I put it in here. So I can save. And then after a few months, say you have like $60 in your food budget or something, then just take that and put it in the bank and put it towards your debt snowball. And
where'd you say you got that?
What?
Where'd you say you got that little thing?
I made it. This is just a small binder that you can get at Staples. And it's still a 3-ring binder.
And then like page protectors that you slide in.
Yeah, these are page protectors that fit it. And then these are little pouches that you can seal.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's how. So anyway, and you can customize it to however you want. I have quite a few in here. Anyway, and then for carrying, and I don't really use this anymore, but when I was really, really serious about the envelopes and kind of figured out what worked for me and what didn't, I had a coupon book. You can get these for like 96 cents at Walmart. And that's where I kept, you can still see some of the old ones in there, my envelopes. So if you don't want to keep them in your wallet, and then you can label them. Because like I said, I mean, not everybody's like OCD and got to have everything cute like I do, but that's just how I am.
Yeah, I posted this in the chat too, but you can actually go to Dave Ramsey's site and like through the Financial Peace University and buy the wallet that has, and I bought it, and it's like a nice looking like black leather wallet.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's all in one place, which I love. So I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah, those are good too. I got his in our kit, but I just didn't really like it.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Yeah, exactly. And so, let me see. But I really think if nothing else, like if these are too many envelopes, I really think that you should at least do one for blow money for yourself, one for food, and then gas. If you don't want to do it for gas, just keep track of it with your debit card, with the receipts, and make sure you're staying within budget. And especially, like I said, especially food and blow money and miscellaneous. I think those are like the 3 most important ones that you really need to use envelopes for, because it really just kind of prevents, especially if you're going from using cards all the time to just using cash, it really makes you rethink those purchases and makes you go, okay, well, I only have $100 to spend at Target on groceries or Walmart or wherever you shop. And you're like, do I have enough? Because this is it. And for me, I always panic, like, oh my goodness, what if it's like 105? What am I going to do? Or what if it's way more expensive? Am I going to have to put stuff back? Because, I mean, that's why you just got to like add stuff up as you go along. And the other thing that I'll share real quick is this is my debt snowball worksheet that I created that
oh my gosh, give me this too. I love it.
So you can really see how much progress you're making, because whatever date that it's due, how much you paid, and then you balance. If you have extra money come in and you want to put that on there and it's not your regular payment, then you can have January 15th and then January 25th, and then the amount paid, the new balance, and you can see that number go down, and it helps keep you motivated. That's one of the reasons that Dave Ramsey really preaches to pay the smallest debt off, smallest to largest, because when you can pay something small off and you can make progress, you get excited, and that fuels your drive to continue on, because sometimes it can seem like such a daunting task to have so much debt. Like $100,000 in debt, and it doesn't include like a mortgage loan, like that is heavy. That is really heavy to think about, trying to pay all that off. So if you can make small victories as you go along, then it's going to keep going. And then you're going to start to see, after you've paid off 3 small credit cards, how much of a bigger payment that you're able to make on those larger debts. And it's just going to keep going faster. But like you guys talked about earlier, if you just want to try and knock something out and you're able to do that, that's great too.
So this is cool because you're only using this for one thing at a time. So it's not like you have 10 of these sheets. You're just using it for.
Well, I personally do. I have one for all of my debts. So I just fill out the company, the date, the minimum payment, the interest rate, and the starting balance. So yeah, I mean, I have like one for my credit card, my car payment, or my cars, and my student loan. But it's really not that many. And even if it is, like, you know, if you have like a $50 balance on a credit card, you can just wipe that out. You don't even like need to put it on this, in my opinion. But this is really nice because I like to keep track, and I just like to track stuff and be organized.
Yeah, this would be great for all of those individual loans you may have too. Like I have probably 12 to 13, like 15 individual loans for student loans. So
yeah,
that's really cool to keep track of those.
Yeah, so that like whenever you see that you're like, oh my gosh, is this student loan ever going to be paid off? You're like, oh, well, this last year I paid off 5 of them. So, you know, it still keeps you motivated, and you don't feel so defeated, like it's never going to happen.
Okay, and this is something you just do by hand, right? You print this off and then do this by hand?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I just do it by hand. I have it in a nice binder, which I don't have. I guess I brought it in here, but yeah, I just have a binder that has the same print as this, and it just says budget on it, and it's divided by each month, and I put all of our bills in there when they come in, and just so they're not like all over the house, because, you know, that used to be a problem too, but anyway. Yeah, so I just like to have it all in one place, and then I have these at the front, and every time I make a payment, I have, you know, I write it in here, and then I check it off on my budget sheet.
I love these. These are so cool. I love how you guys all do it so differently too. So this
it's crazy. And then so that my call to action would just be to use envelopes, and kind of like what all the other girls said, just to put your debts in order, smallest to largest, and that's how they're ordered in my binder. They're put in order, smallest to largest. So I know I can see that first balance, you know, that's almost paid off at like $400 or, you know, whatever, and just keep excited about getting out of debt. So that's what I would do. And then the other thing is that I always listen to Dave Ramsey's podcast like once or twice a week. Some of it can be kind of boring, but it's very informational as far as other people's issues, what they've done to get out of a car loan, or to reduce their credit card interest debt, or pay their, you know, get someone to buy their house if they are upside down, or just whatever. But the really cool thing that I like about it is there's always someone on there talking about their story, about how they got out of debt. And to hear other people's stories just reminds you that you are no different than they are, and you can do the same just like they did. So I would definitely listen to his podcast. It's just Dave Ramsey, and I'm sure we all listen to podcasts anyway. So, you know, listen for 20 minutes, you know, in the car, whatever. You know, we can all do that. And
is it the Dave Ramsey Show?
The Dave Ramsey Show, yeah.
Okay, he also has an Entre Leadership podcast. And he has a book called Entre Leadership. That's good too. Mm-hmm. So you can subscribe to both of them.
Yeah, that one is good too. So do your budget at the beginning of every month, and sit down with your spouse. Dave says if your spouse, especially, is like a free spirit, don't let the budget meeting go past 17 minutes. Keep it short and sweet, and just present it. You don't need to talk about big plans and on and on and on. You just say, here's our budget. Here's what I think we should do with our money this coming month. And what do you think? And they can say, well, we should change this, this, and this. And then you can decide on those changes, and then done. Budget meeting over. And that was, you know, because I can talk about like, well, we could do this or we could do that. You know, what do you want? What do you think? So my husband is really, when we were in the FPU class and he said that, he just busted out laughing, and he was just like, I love it. He's like, you're going to be in trouble when our budget meeting comes up next.
That's funny.
Our budget meeting is just me telling Mark, so we've paid off this much debt, and this is what we have in savings. And Mark's like, good job.
I know.
He does nothing.
I talked to somebody about setting up an LLC for Beachbody today, and he like sent me a breakdown of like prices and things. And so I don't think I'm going to include Beachbody in this because I think that it'll be a separate business account. So I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like I spend a ton on Amazon for business right now and like business, debt monthly payments and stuff. But I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down with you tonight and like talk. He's like, just whatever, you decide. I don't care. Like, okay, so I'm doing it. But it's so funny. He's like, I mean, if you need it, pay for it. I don't care. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's funny. So the last thing that I just had written down was just some things to like keep you motivated. I don't know if how much people would like or want this, but it really helps me to not like swipe my debit card when I know there's money in there and I don't have any more money left in my envelope. And I just think about don't make important financial decisions based on emotions or stress. Stay calm and think things through. Most of these are quotes from Dave Ramsey, by the way. It's not, I can't afford this. That is defeating and negative and can make you feel like you're failing. Instead, say it's not in my budget and therefore it doesn't align with my goals. And if I really want it, I can put it in the budget for next month. And Dave Ramsey says you also have to get mad if you are serious about getting out of debt. And saving money is about emotion and contentment. And it is amoral. It is not something to associate with emotions. And the other thing that I really learned through SPU, I haven't read it in the last Total Money Makeover book that I read. The one you guys have is the new one. I've read the old one. But the reason that it's so important to have the $1,000 in an emergency fund is because Murphy will come knocking. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong for the most part, for most people when you start to get out of debt. So just be prepared for it. Since we started trying to get out of debt, I've literally had 3 different medical bills come in that were significant. And it was really frustrating, but I'm like, well, let's just add it to the pile and it'll get it paid off. You just have to stay positive about it. And for me, like all of a sudden, especially this year, since we like we're taking it to the next level about saving money and trying to get out of debt, I've all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, like, well, now my shoes that I wear to work, like this, like the soles are literally like coming apart. And I'm pretty sure my straightener that I've had for 4 years needs to be replaced. And I'm like, well, I need new dress pants because the seams are coming out. But it's kind of like everything that can go wrong is just like is happening. Even if those are kind of like minor things, it's still more money that you want to spend. And it's very tempting to spend money on a new straightener, especially when we're girls and, like I'm out in the public and deal with realty agents and clients and things like that. Like I have to have nice hair. I can't have
also check Marshall's because Marshall's has chi straighteners a lot.
Oh, I forgot about them. Yes,
I got like a chi straightener from Marshall's for $40.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Yes, thank you. I'll definitely have to check that. So anyway, my whole point is just that if you are just starting on the journey of getting out of debt,